Good afternoon. It's Kevin Brittingham with Q. This is the Q and Ask podcast. I'm here with Adam Johnson and Jay. So, I mean, maybe even Thomas is going to speak up today and display some ignorance of John Cusack's greatest moments and theatrical importance. We're going to talk about SHOT Show cancellation. We're going to talk about Q. We're going to talk about you guys. Alcohol, gifts that you've sent us. We need some stuff to decorate the new podcast room. We're going to talk about the NRA and their bankruptcy inefficiencies and things they've done right for us. New products, accessories, other things going on in the industry, the good, the bad. I don't know, a bunch of babbling, probably a bunch of editing for Thomas. But we appreciate you tuning in. You could be anywhere in the world. You're here with us. We appreciate that. Stay tuned.
Hello.
What's up?
We're back.
We are back in several ways. So what's going on today?
What episode number is this?
13.
30.
You said two different numbers.
It's 30. We just released 29. So
I could never remember, so I think I just made them all 13.
Oh, yeah.
Back when I was doing them myself.
Yeah, this one's 30.
What number are we calling it a success?
I don't know how we would measure success with this.
I think 100's like a milestone.
Is that it? All right.
I mean, I think if we get free alcohol or some monies or something from this, it's a success. Or if we just continue to answer some questions and educate our valued customers.
There we go.
Works for me.
Where'd you get that fancy Eastern European camo hoodie?
The old.
Is it the Rhodesian?
It is the Rhodesian Whoopie. It's from Warm and Fuzzy.
I'm not sure Rhodesia is in Eastern Europe, but
nope, it is not. It's not super close either, but
the company is called Warm and Fuzzy.
Yeah, Warm and Fuzzy.
What exactly is it? That's a pullover.
It is a Whoopie hoodie.
Yeah, so a Whoopie.
Yeah, Whoopie was. It's like anyone that was in the military has probably had a Whoopie at some point. It's basically a liner.
Warm and Fuzzy Whoopie.
Warm and Fuzzy Whoopie. Yeah, and so I mean, he makes them with some cool prints. A lot of companies will do it, but his are cool. He did like a chocolate chip camo. He did the Rhodesian one. So
you kids today.
I got to support the Air Force. Big Blue.
Is that the Big Blue?
Yeah, I mean the Navy. Were they the Blue ever?
The Blue Angels.
Yeah, the Blue Angels. Yeah, but was crossed into the Blue? Was that the Navy or the Air Force?
What's the Air Force's motto?
Maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, maybe tomorrow. Yeah, you'll get it when you get it. Yeah.
All right. Enough of this bullshit. So, guess what, guys?
What's up?
I'm doing a book.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I was contacted by it's basically the publishers of the Vicar's Guide, which are incredibly awesome books. Which now they started, I think, maybe with ARs or something. A lot of the Knights Armament collection. It's Larry Vickers. He's the author. James Rupley's photographer, publisher. So he's got contacted me. Now the Vicar's Guides, they've expanded, and I just saw they just sent me the SIG book that they did. What else? A World War II one. I've got an AK book from them. Incredible photographs. Have you guys seen these?
Oh, yeah.
I've seen the AK one, yeah.
Yeah, so doing a silencer book with them, so I'm pretty excited. What started out as a book, I think it's going to be a series now. So we just did all the photography from for the first book. And so it's me and James and Ian McCullough, I believe is his last name, so Forgotten Weapons. Mm-hmm. Seen that? Ponytailed.
Cool dude.
Oh, yeah.
Smart guy.
Kentucky Fried Chicken Colonel goatee guy. Yeah. So smart guy, knows a lot about guns, is a huge gun dork. So he's doing it now.
This book is not the one that you were telling me about, you writing about the hygiene of migratory birds.
No, this is totally
different one.
No, my bird fascination is separate from the firearms.
Okay.
So, and that's birds of prey with 2-inch long talons. But
that's what it was. I'm sorry.
It's not the hygiene. The hygiene was
predecessor. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Anyhow, so doing it. So the first book is going to be, a huge part of the book is going to be on Maxim. So I've been collecting Maxim silencers for 30 years probably. Maxim silencers, ads, memorabilia, mailing tubes, everything about it. So Hiram Percy Maxim invented the silencer. His dad, Hiram Stevens Maxim, invented the machine gun. So I have a big collection of that stuff, and that's probably going to be about half the book. And then it looks like it's going to move into, well, the National Firearms Act 1934 screwed silencers. But Maxim developed some of the best silencers that are still extremely quiet, very efficient. And Maxim developed a lot of the technology that current silencers, including ours, are based on now. So that's pretty impressive. Like John Browning with the M2, 100 whatever years later, we're still using the M2 50 cal. Maxim silencers, kind of the same thing. So anyway, it's going to go to World War II, the OSS. So predecessor to the CIA, the silencers that they developed during World War II, because unfortunately the NFA killed commercial silencers. And, and it kills technology. Like, you need the commercial market developing stuff to support, our armed forces and whatnot. The OSS developed some pretty cool stuff. I've got a 22 high standard that's in the book, that's integrally silenced, a grease gun, kind of the same premise. Stuff from there goes to Vietnam, which, like everything in the 70s, was like pretty shitty. So psionics and Mac silencers, not great quality, not great performance, big and heavy, pretty much useless. Then it moves on into, 80s, 90s, and some U.S. commercial stuff, but, including some of the Mac stuff like the Mac 10. You guys ever seen the briefcase, like the 380?
I haven't seen it,
M11.
but you've told me about it a little bit, and I'd like to see it.
So I need to bring one in to show you.
Absolutely.
So they did a briefcase that had an M11 380 full auto, and it fires 1,680 rounds a minute. So that's like smoking fast.
Yes, it is.
That's like a real burp gun. Mm-hmm. So that's in there. A lot of that stuff. But at the end of the 70s, early 80s, when some of our special operations groups that are still very relevant were established, we really started developing great silencers again. And it was all based on the Maxim silencers. And so it's a company called Qualitech, then early AWC stuff, and then into Knight's Armament, and the current like Global War on Terror current products, and a couple of hours are in there. So I think that's going to be the first volume. So pretty excited. It's Head Stamp Publishing, if anybody wants to get on a list for a pre-order. All of the books they've done, they sell out and pre-order. So if you want one, at least the photography is going to be great. My commentary in the book, probably going to be okay. I bet Ian's going to do a great job.
We'll dress it up a bit. Yeah. And the books themselves are really nice, too. Yeah. I mean, the quality of them, all the terminology for books is just pretty top-notch. I mean, compared to the ones next to you.
Yeah, okay.
Those are pretty
so
weak
here are some
comparison.
of the books. So these are the books like I grew up in the industry reading, and most of this stuff is like written in the 60s and 70s. This is John Menery, Firearm Silencers, Siegfried Hübner, which is a German fella, silencers for handguns. These are books that you guys might be able to find now on Amazon or whatever, but they're great. Lots of great photos, lots of great silencers info. A lot of it's outdated, but a lot of stuff that you've never seen.
Whispering Death.
Yeah. Dave Truby was really dramatic in a lot of his delivery of things, which is pretty cool. So Silencer Snipers and Assassins. There's lots of good books. There's lots of foreign books. Like I have, some German and Russian books and stuff like that. Got a Finnish book on silencers. But Al Paulson in the late 90s or late 90s did a series. Well, I think it ended up just being 2. He wrote the third one, but it's never been published. Silencers, History and Performance. And it was basically just evaluating current silencers. And that's pretty interesting. He did a lot of great work. It's really dated at this point, but it kind of shows you where the industry was. And that's kind of where my first company, Advanced Armament, was sort of born in the industry during that period, where we had articles written in Guns and Weapons for Law Enforcement, Special Weapons for Military and Police. Like Al Paulson was the guy that wrote the books, wrote all of, the articles and comparisons on silencers. So anyway, I'm pretty excited. Doing a new book. There'll be lots of great pictures. That's cool to me.
For everyone that's going to ask, what is the timeline? Did you say that already?
Yeah, so the book, I believe the pre-sale will start, I don't know. The book will be out the end of this year, early next year. So worst case, about a year from now, but probably around November timeframe.
Yeah.
Some of it probably depends on me writing.
Sure.
But we've already done all the photography for the book. So that's awesome. A big part of it.
Yeah.
And it's exciting for me because, I don't know how many silencers I have, but hundreds, maybe 1,000, 1,500, a lot of silencers and a lot of historical stuff. And so I've had a lot of it in storage for a long time. And so getting it out for the book was exciting and interesting. And I don't know, you guys might not even follow my personal Instagram, but so I've started kind of in anticipation of the book posting some old silencers and stuff. Most of it won't even be in the book, but that I have in a brief description every day to kind of get people excited, because I'm excited about it again. You know, I've had all this stuff that for the first 20 years, me and 5 other people in the world care about.
Right.
And now silencers are becoming more mainstream. And so some of the actual history of it, and for me, the interesting part, like kind of how it started and where we got to where we are now, but also the military use of the silencers and why it's critical and what's worked out really well and what's kind of sucked.
Right.
Well, that brings up a point too. Like, I don't know if you guys saw that the Marines just bought, I think it was 30,000 silencers, and I think the focus is they're going to try to get every infantryman to have a silencer, which I think before it wasn't. Obviously, it was only select few personnel or units.
So interesting that the Marines are going to be the first ones to do this.
That is backwards than normal.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully it works out. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, when you think in terms of a firearm, the sound, it's noise pollution. Every time you shoot without a silencer or hearing protection, it's permanent hearing damage. Mm-hmm. And that we're just now getting to the point. And probably it's so ass backwards. If you see the Marines are adopting it first mainstream, then it should be on every gun. But as an industry, it's our job to make it to where it's efficient enough to be on every gun. Mm-hmm. Like, it should not be noticeable when you handle the gun and only noticeable when you shoot the gun.
Yeah, the benefits are tremendous. You know, obviously sound reduction, but communication on the field, identification of teams or units, you know, good guys versus bad guys.
Yeah.
And then in the afterworld out of the military, it's VA claims for hearing loss. Yeah. It's
Lord.
It's so high right now. I mean, the country spends so much money just paying people for hearing loss for
the
rest of their life. So
it's ridiculous. It would be way easier to give everyone silencers.
Absolutely.
It is crazy how it's just not a standard at this point, even outside of the military, even just within the civilian world. Like, there was that, I think it was John Lovell that you did the video, the little boomsticks thing.
That's the
right. I think
fire,
it was, the fire-breathing dragon. Yeah.
Stick
but it's like anyone, and there's some people who just don't know, and they have a 10.5-inch or 11-inch pistol as their AR or home defense, and it may be their first gun, whatever, but shoot that outside and it's insane, and then now shoot it inside with other people around. Like, it blows my mind that it's not a standard right now, that not everyone, I know it's harder
for
to
anyone that's fired a firearm inside of an automobile, like, but you know, silencers in general, it's been a long time coming. I mean, I think, you know, I'm 47 now. At 19 when I shot my first gun with a silencer and started advanced armament, like, it was obvious to me. You know, I thought we'd make it happen very quickly, but here we are. Oh my Lord, a lifetime later, still working on it.
Yep.
But yeah, everyone should have them. It's interesting. I mean, we'll see. There's been this sort of stuff. We'll see what the Marine Corps actually does and if they can get the funds. Because, you know, they got to get the money from somewhere, and it seems like silencers traditionally just fall by the wayside when it comes to funding for military units. So we'll see. But anyway, doing a book. I'm excited about it. Hopefully it's the first of a series, because I've got enough to probably do a 5 or 6 book series. It looks like it'll probably be 3 books the way we're doing it now. Again, they're available through headstamppublishing.com, James Rupley. The books, I'm not sure how much the book will be. They seem to run about $100 to $120. But like Adam was saying, the quality of the book, overall, outside and inside, the photography is incredible.
The amount of content in them too is insane.
Yeah,
they're not little books; they're big books.
Well, I even think about how jaded I am. I just happened to be the right age, got interested at the right time, and had great opportunities and collected massive amounts of memorabilia, vintage silencers. I've shot everything. Like the Maxim silencers that I have, I shoot them. The OSS silencers, I shoot them. You know, every silencer I have, I shoot. There's nothing that I have I won't shoot. So I have actual experience with it too, and we've tested, or at least sound metered, a lot of this stuff over the years. So it's been pretty interesting. I mean, I just never thought anybody else would be interested in it. So it's exciting for me personally, for people to, you know, to be enough interest where they would approach me and want to do a book.
Yeah, it's cool.
So it's cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, what do you think about? So we'll move on.
Okay.
We'll stop pimping my book.
I think it's cool.
Yeah, thank you.
There were some good segues there going into HPA. And
oh my God!
I think it's getting reintroduced, or it is reintroduced. I saw something on social media.
I wish I'd never started the American Silencer Association. Now
It's all your fault.
Knox is a freaking moron.
Directly.
So HPA, I saw they're trying to reintroduce that, which, the protection that we have with Biden in office right now, to a large degree, is that silencers are on the NFA. So it takes more than an executive act. He needs Congress to basically deregulate silencers so he could do an executive order. I believe this is correct. And silencers being in the NFA now with obviously very pro get rid of guns administration, they're much more protected than just a basic firearm. And so now we have this idiot at the American Suppressor Association getting the HPA, the Hearing Protection Act, reintroduced, which would deregulate silencers. So it'd be easy for Biden to do an executive order and ban silencers. So what an asshole.
Yeah.
What do you think, Jay? You got anything negative to say? If not, then be quiet.
No, I agree with you 100%. No, I definitely agree with you 100%. I think it had an impact last time it was proposed and tried to push through, and I don't know. Don't necessarily know why they would try again, but
yeah, I just thought of it when you said NFA and Howard Maxim and all that. NFA killed silencers, and pretty much his company.
Yeah,
HPA is the same thing today,
right?
In kind of a different way, but still very bad for silencers from our standpoint and dealers and all that.
I was gonna say last time there had to have been a noticeable dampening in sales. I obviously don't know. The numbers,
HPA, when we started the company, this company Q in 2016, HPA happened. Silencer sales stopped.
Yeah. Because
for almost
everyone's
a year.
If I wait, I won't have to pay $200.
Trump's going to deregulate silencers.
Nobody had any silencers, or they had nobody to sell silencers to, because everybody was waiting.
So the pipeline for all the distributors was clogged with all the bullshit that they bought that everyone was producing leading up to this, because every silencer would sell. Then it just stopped because people didn't want to pay the tax. And I'll say, I don't know. Let's try to be concise. I think silencers being regulated is ridiculous. They're classified as a firearm by ATF. It's insane.
Yeah.
But it's where we are. But if it protects silencers from being banned by Joe Biden or Kamala Harris, I'm all for it. Like the barrier to entry, it sucks. You pay a $200 tax. God knows I pay enough taxes. So do you guys. Yeah. So we don't even have to have the fucking discussion. Waiting 10 months or 6 months or 2 months to get a silencer is stupid.
Yeah.
It being the only muffler that's regulated. However, it's where we are. But to expose them during uncertain times with Joe Biden, to where it makes it easier for him to just sign a letter and ban silencers, like HPA, ASA, a bunch of assholes.
Yeah, one of the new bills they're introducing. I don't remember which bill number it was, but it was the one regarding 7-day wait periods for firearms, ammunition, and they wrote silencers in that. So 7-day wait period for silencers at what expense, though?
Right.
Well, maybe it'll be one of those things.
Or do they not know it doesn't take
I was going to say,
long?
it's probably that.
Well, they probably are ignorant. But I remember when I was getting my first carry permit when I was 21. And in Georgia, the law reads that if they do not give you an approval within 30 days, that they have to issue the license. But if they find information that you're not allowed to have it, they could reclaim it. And there was a backlog at the time because I turned 21, during the Clinton administration. And so there was a backlog because everything with firearms, just like now, was clogged up. And so I went in 30 days and I printed out the little, here's the Georgia code. You have to issue me my permit. And the magistrate, she was pissed. But she gave it to me, and she made sure to tell me, if we find out there's anything where you're not allowed, we're going to take this back.
Yeah.
Okay. But, so maybe it'd be a situation like that. Maybe they put this in there, and all of a sudden, they have to give it to you within, there's a 7-day waiting period, but then you can get it.
Well, the NICS check is already like that anyway. If you get a delay, there's a time period. A lot of places will go.
Yeah, but no dealers, they don't do that, because if it gets denied, who's going to sign up to go get that gun back?
Right.
Right.
I mean, it should be the ATF.
Should be.
Be.
Well, let those assholes go get it. Is that a Stoneface? Our local brewer?
Lone Pine from Portland, Maine.
Yes, sir.
Oh, very delicious.
It is an imperial milk stout.
Oh, that sounds gross.
It's an acquired taste.
Yeah. I've not acquired that. Jay, do you even drink?
Barely. Barely.
When you do, what is it?
I like a nice Mexican lager. I like a nice Tecate. Like a nice.
Why is Tommy laughing?
No,
I don't know why.
don't know
You
either.
certainly don't drink with those little pants.
Well, so like if I'll drink like Tecate, I'll drink like Corona, Pacifico, whatever.
Oh, you're being serious. You've only
Dead
acquired
serious.
a taste for Mexican beer.
Basically, if I'm choosing to drink, that's what I'm going to drink. But also, I'm a little partial to some Campari.
Is that
It's-
the liqueur?
I
That,
think you're
Yeah.
supposed to like dab that into other drinks.
Yeah, that's what everyone tells me. But I just drink it with soda water or whatever, and I'm
Alright.
chilling.
So, okay, so we have someone from the extreme northeast of America, like very isolated.
Maine.
And you like your beer from Mexico.
Yeah, I just feel like I relate to them more.
And you relate to the ghetto.
A little bit more.
With your liqueur taste.
and
Yeah.
the Rhodesians.
And the Rhodesians, yeah.
So you want to pass me the Cavassier?
No. No.
All right, I give up on this. I mean, fucking Thomas Vapes, you're drinking. Like,
Campari's pretty good. Another acquired
well,
taste.
go get some, bring it in here.
All right. You're not going to like it. But
I'm talking about right now.
I'm doing this right now.
You got any at your desk?
Do we have any in
No.
this building?
Campari, I very highly doubt it.
Me too.
This is terrible. All right, so moving on.
Yeah.
Shot Show was canceled.
Yeah.
Adam, what's your initial thought? What's your first comment?
Who needs it?
It's exactly mine.
Yeah.
It's like we're
The internet, social
Simpatico.
media, nothing's a secret anymore. Why travel out there and get sick?
You know what I hate as a company though? Like, well, Shot Show sucks. Like, I mean, I did it for 20 years.
Even the cry party sucked last time I went. Like even
That's
that,
fine.
that
I
was
mean,
like,
I love Caleb.
Yeah.
And I love adventure and fun. The cry party sucked every time I've been.
oh, well, you don't like fun.
Shots
well,
fired.
no, I do. No, that's not. That's not. I mean, it's just cold. It's long.
Yeah.
I mean, Caleb is very odd, which is a brilliant thing, and it's part of his brilliance and like the products he's created, the company he's created, and I'm very envious. But we just have different, probably, our patience
Yeah.
and tolerance is very different.
I watched a bunch of guys from Magpul dressed up as bananas beat somebody up.
Well,
That was fun to watch.
Yeah, to me, like everything that happens. Okay, so I want to take some of that back. I
Yeah.
want to make a retraction. Everything that's happened at a cry party like that, I would
Yeah.
love to see that.
Yeah.
The 3 hours leading up to
Oh,
it,
yeah.
I'm uninterested in.
No.
That I like.
The
Would
highlights.
Would you share the All Stars bitches story?
All Star. Oh, that was a cry party story. So one of our first Q shirts was All Stars bitches, and it has like a speeding tennis ball.
Yeah.
So one of the founders of the company apparently was an all-star in t-ball as a child. Had a good arm on him. Basically, is what I'm saying. We're at the cry party, and it's one where it was based on like Mario Kart, the Nintendo game, I believe. And I think we had a vehicle in it, and I think we actually.
We would have won if our driver didn't go so fast.
Yeah,
And I know that sounds crazy
so
because that's how you win.
With that being said, I'm not sure I'm remembering now, but I think our driver was actually a driver for one of the most elite special forces units in the history of the world.
yes.
And he is insanely scary. We were on my farm one day, and we have 10 miles of road. And at my farm, my house is on one end of the mountain. We were on the far end of the property. We were on the far end of the property. And so probably 5 miles away, we stopped. The first time he ever took me for a ride in a Polaris Razor. And it's mountain property. I was so terrified. I got out as soon as we stopped, and I walked back to the house. It took me all afternoon. It's a true story. So he drove for us.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they had spectators shoot tennis balls with these awesome like air tennis ball gun things, shooting at all the drivers. And so there's tennis balls everywhere, and we're kind of up in this mezzanine. And I won't name him, but Robbie Johnson had a good right arm.
He does.
And he picked up a tennis ball, and he hurled a fastball down into the galley, we'll call it. And he pops a fella right there in the forehead.
I think it was one of the drivers. Wasn't
No.
it?
It
Am I
was
misremembering
a
it?
drunk that was saying it. Pops him right here in the temple.
Yeah.
Drops him with a tennis ball, swear to God. With a tennis ball. Fastball.
Yeah.
Bam! In the temple. Drops him down to a knee. He gets up, staggers, shakes the cobwebs, and starts trying to climb up. So where we were, it were bleachers that were maybe in your high school gym, you understand. They were like pushed in, so it's like a wall, but there's little cracks you can climb. He starts trying to climb to get to us to kill Robbie. But and so anyway, it was hysterical, and Robbie was not afraid at all because not that Robbie was extremely tough, but knew it's like the guy was obviously not going to be able to climb the bleachers. Robbie turns around to all of us. We're like, "Oh my God, you just knocked that guy out with a tennis ball." He says, "T-ball, I was all stars, bitches." And, he's very Southern, even more than me. It was pretty funny. So we had a T-shirt. Yeah. So that's a great cry party story. If you want to tell some stories, I'll tell a couple stories.
I just want to shout out to Edgar Sherman for last year's SHOT Show cry party.
What did he do?
He remembers.
Well, if he's listening, I need a sling.
He's
Great
just
slings.
I've never just seen anybody so drunk in my life and still standing.
Well, he's a little fella.
He's little, yeah.
Well, even hearing Caleb tell stories of the cry parties, like when we went to lunch with him, him telling it is crazy because he seems very just calm and
Caleb's an alien.
Yeah, just very mellow. And then him telling the stories of the absolute chaos was cool.
It's madness.
Yeah. Well, it reminds me of no, not a party, but a story with Trey. It was kind of a party. Trey and I, it was a Sunday. It was late August. It was very hot.
Just got out of church?
No, we just got out of the strip club. So it was wee hours of the morning. We're at Knight's Armament. Just the two of us. Doing some stuff in the museum. Still drinking Patron. It's daylight. And he's like, "Hey, man, tell you what I got my dad for Christmas." I'm like, "Nah, man, what'd you get your dad for Christmas?" He's like, "Polaris Razor. You know what that is?" I was like, "Nah." Years ago. And so we walked the 3-mile trek through Knight's Armament to get to the Tank Museum to where the Polaris was. I was like, "God, man, that thing's freaking awesome. We should drive it." Because, they've got like 100 acres there, and they've got a security perimeter roads along the fence, gravel. And I'm like, "Hey, let's go." And so we're going. The thing goes like 60 miles an hour. We are booking it. All right, we're booking it. And Trey is notorious, terrible driver. And we're speeding rapidly towards the fence with a 9-degree turn in the road. And I'm like, I'm taking pictures of it, social media, I'm like lighting it up. And but it's funny, the last picture's all blurry, and you see my glasses, and you see my head and everything. So he rolls this thing. We roll like 16 times.
Holy shit.
And somehow, every time we landed on my side, he still had his glasses on when we landed. My glasses, very first flip, they're off my head. And I have gravel, and I'm cut up everywhere, my head, my shoulder, my arms, everything. The only thing that stopped us from like infinity roll is the security fence. So we rolled that thing up. And so it took the Razor at the time was like $6,000. It took like $4,000 to repair this Razor. And about the time that happened, my kids and their 2 nannies pull up. They were at Disney World. And they pull up to get me. And I'm like picking gravel out of my shoulder and the side of my head and everything. I'm bleeding everywhere. And my kids were little. They're crying. They thought I was dying. And Trey, not a scratch on him. Like, they thought he, beat me up or something. But, yeah. So that's a Trey Knight cry party sort of story.
Yeah.
That was a...
Did he give the Razor to Reed?
Yeah. Still,
it got squared away.
Still has it. Yeah.
That's awesome.
$4,000 later.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so, yeah, SHOT Show was canceled.
Yeah.
I don't care about SHOT
There's
Show.
some virtual shots going on right now. It seems
What
stupid.
is that? What is a virtual shot?
I would just imagine it's a lot like what we're doing right now.
Yeah, I think it's...
Just with some more guns and shooting.
Probably some FaceTime type stuff. At this point, is SHOT Show really just... Because you guys have been, obviously, but is it more just...
Shout out to Lillard for sending us beer.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, Joe Lillard.
Appreciate everybody that sends us beer.
At this point, is it just a place where once a year everyone just goes and hangs out?
Yeah, you get to go see your friends. There's networking. You meet customers, things like that.
The networking, yeah.
Yeah, but as far as like launching new products for the fake deadline that is SHOT Show is just...
You end up with a less product,
yeah,
and you compete with everyone else for attention for your new product.
Exactly.
Seems ridiculous.
For people that are only there for the free patches and being in Vegas. I mean, I don't know. I think social media and just digital media in general has kind of made SHOT Show unnecessary.
Irrelevant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't done it. I mean, 2017 was the last SHOT Show we did.
Yeah, and, at SIG, it was always just rush. We have to have this for SHOT Show. And then every video on YouTube for the next year is a product that's never going to come to fruition.
XI conversion kits.
It's already changed.
The MPX silencer barrel.
Yeah, all the things. I mean...
Yeah, so I'm with you.
Yeah.
I don't care. Well, I kind of hate that it was canceled because, I've been wanting to do our own thing. I've got my whole idea for our product launches and an annual thing we do every year, and I don't want this to catapult other companies into doing what I'm.
Was it just needed at one point? Like, I know obviously there wasn't the digital marketing and all that marketing.
It's before social media and all. I think it was necessary. I think it was a great idea. I think it's like a lot of things now that old people are hanging on to. It's just dated.
It's good for vendors, people that want to work with gun companies or people in the industry. Like the first Florida SHOT Show with Vendor Day is probably the best part because you get to see new vendors, meet new vendors, actually physically see what they make, products that they offer, services.
Right.
But
again, speaking of that and being dated, what about the did you guys see the NRA file for bankruptcy?
yeah,
I did. The way that I saw it, it seemed like they were filing for bankruptcy to leave New York. Like it was like a loophole.
It is hard
type
to get
deal.
out of New York. If you're a resident of New York, it's hard to get out. But is that the bullshit story they're telling?
I think so. That's just what when I did a brief search on it, when I saw the headline, it seemed like they're using that as the idea of like, well, it's a loophole. We're going to file bankruptcy from here so we can leave New York and go wherever they're going, Texas.
I mean, I feel like that's bullshit. But I mean, I think it's a sign of the times. I mean, I think when I got into guns, God, almost 120 years ago, he was head of NRA at the time. And he still is. It seems ridiculous. Mm-hmm. That was before social media. The same guy's still in charge. How's that possible? He's got to be like 80 years old.
I remember when I was younger hearing more about the NRA from uncles, friends of family, whatever, and it seemed more prevalent, and I think maybe they were doing more good, I guess.
I think with social media, it was a sign that you supported gun rights. Like you have the little sticker for your truck.
Right, yeah. But then as the last couple of years, I just don't really, people I know that are part of the community or the industry don't really ever talk about the NRA. They don't really care.
No, I mean, you think of our experiences. I mean, I think the what sucks about it is they are the most powerful lobbying group that we have for our rights.
Yep.
And the downside is they suck. Like we saw it with the arm brace.
Yeah.
I mean, they came along at the last minute to try to save the day, but
and even then they didn't follow through with what they promised.
Well, for the first 3 months, they wouldn't even touch it.
Yeah.
They're trying to. I mean, it was clear when the ATF went after us for the arm brace. It was the beginning of going after the arm brace.
Yeah.
And we wanted to fight, and they weren't even interested in making a phone call. I mean, the younger people in the NRA wanted to help. They understood NRA as an industry. I've told the story 10 times. Like when I had Advanced Armament early in my career and wanted to set up at their show. And had paid, they refunded my money and told me I couldn't come because they didn't want, my type of gun. Mm-hmm. I don't know. So they're going to move. I didn't even know their headquarters in New York. I thought it was D.C. I've been there a bunch of times.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
So that's not the headquarters I've been to with the museum and the gun range and stuff.
That's their lobbying, political location.
I mean, the fact that they're still in New York and we just know this, I mean, that's ridiculous. The fact they're in New York is dumb. Like they should be kicked in the balls for that.
Yeah.
Texas makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's where they're headed.
Really, headline reader.
Yeah. Yeah. Lots of research.
Yeah. All right. Well, what else is up? You seen any videos lately? Gun videos?
There
videos about us?
There were some silencer shop videos that were released.
Yeah.
Also, Talon Psi.
About us?
About, Talon Psi for sure.
Yeah.
Kit Badger just did one.
Oh, yeah. That was a
about
good one.
the Erector 9. Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Yeah. Well, I will say, I did an excellent job on the silencer shop videos.
I think you did as well.
No, those are pretty cool. Yeah, I was invited out to the guy in charge of marketing at Silencer Shop. He's got a ranch out in Wyoming, so I spent some time out there. We did some videos. So we talked about a lot of products. The Honey Badger, maybe the Mini Fix, the Erector. I saw that one recently.
Yeah, Erector and El Camino were in the same video.
Yeah, so their videos I think are good. They post them on YouTube, I guess. Or are they on their website?
YouTube.
Very good. Yeah, Old Kit Badger, old Ivan. The Erector 9 video. I know he's the only person in the world that's had an Erector 9 for a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lucky fella.
Yeah.
We just sent him one of our triggers too.
Oh, we did?
Yep, the production trigger. So get some feedback on that. Probably some content.
You know, it's an interesting thing. Like, there's so many gun tubers now. YouTube gun. What do you call them, Jay? You're young and hip.
I don't know I don't think influencer is even really the term, but
They don't like that. They
Content
prefer
creator?
content creator.
Yeah.
But how do we denote that it's a firearms?
is there a 2A content creator?
All right.
I don't
Okay.
know.
I like GunTuber.
GunTuber's a cool one, yeah.
GunTuber. So I've been looking at those, and for instance, I was talking to you about the Gun Collective, who I don't want to like. I don't want to like the content, but I do. But it's mainly headlines. He doesn't do a lot of testing. And we like Talon Sai, so we do stuff with him. So you see, he just did a honey badger video. It was very good. He and I did an interview at my house, and then he did his own kind of review, shooting video while he carries the gun in his van. Mm-hmm. So watching the Gun Collective, though, he's not really, and I like his. I've been watching his. And again, I don't want to watch. But what he does, it seems like he just scours blogs, gets the content, then talks to it. Doesn't really go and do any reviews. But he's entertaining. It's very quick. It's very fast. You get a lot of information.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the one I'm thinking of isn't super new, but Garantham did a good job with, I think he did a good unbiased opinion on the honey badger when he came out with his. I think he's one of the most popular, most looked at.
His videos are great.
Yeah. I think he has one of our cans. I think he's been just over time.
No, he does a good, genuine videos.
Yeah,
and
I think he
seems unbiased, seems genuine, and
Yeah.
authentic. And I mean, he was clearly, according to him, bribed to write a bad review about the
Right.
honey badger. He chose not
Oh,
to, and he called those people out.
Right.
That was interesting, the Honey
Yeah.
Badger review, that he said that several companies offered to bribe him. They bribed
To
him.
shit on it.
Yeah, to give us a bad
to-
review.
Like, it's so pathetic. Like,
Yeah. And
It
good
makes
on
me
him for
laugh.
calling them out. And,
Yeah.
and good on him also for not calling them out
Yeah.
individually.
Right.
Would have been nice to know, but he's professional. And
Yeah,
I
well,
think
any-
it showed in that video. So.
Yeah.
Anybody that says the Honey Badger, the fix, aren't incredible, you just can't rely on them.
Yeah. Well, we got some things in front of us. We want to talk about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What things? What do we have here?
Well, we have the pork chop cherry
What are
bomb,
you talking? Oh,
the XL. Is that what we're going to call it?
I don't really like the name.
I don't either.
I don't know.
It looks giant, but if you look at the old AAC blackout flash hiders, it's the same size as the bigger cherry bomb. So I think we've just been so spoiled with the small cherry bomb that it looks huge.
Yeah, this is tiny like Jay.
Yeah.
That's regular size.
Oh.
And this is lighter weight than the Surefire muzzle brake.
Oh, yeah.
Like a war comp.
I don't know, that's some lame cloner thing. I don't know what the.
Were you saying that the big one is the same size as like a 51 tooth flash
yeah,
hider? or
flash
whatever?
hider. Yeah. And which was
Or just the blackout flashlight. It doesn't matter the number of teeth.
no, it doesn't actually.
You made them.
That's all I'm correcting you.
So just for people seeing this, that's the reality of how big that actually is.
Yeah, so this will be the steel cans, not only the 338, but the 5.56 30 cal, like all the steel cans that were coming. Jay, don't be mad.
I'm not mad.
I
I was
teasing.
bugging at you eating in the mic. Like that's all I was hearing. I was trying not to laugh.
Really?
Yeah, but you're good now.
You,
Yeah.
you swallowed a gremlin last week. You gonna be mad about me sucking
Oh, I'm not mad at all.
hazelnut
Sucking
out of
what?
my tooth?
No, I'm not mad at all. I just was trying not to laugh.
A whole hazelnut.
Yeah,
You should laugh.
I just did.
Go
Had
ahead,
a-
get it out of your
Had a good
system.
ha.
Well, then you tell us something about this cherry bomb, funny man.
It's big. It's for the 8.6. Everything about it is very similar to the normal cherry bomb, but you cannot put the new pork chop on a regular size cherry bomb.
No, they don't mix.
Right.
What's cool about this, though, with the 5.56 can, is we'll be able to do a full-length flash hider. It's going to be very effective for flash, which, I don't know, all you cloners really want. So that's
Yeah.
cool.
Did you see the new 6.8 Western from Winchester and Remington?
Yeah, I'm just so uninterested. It's like a 270 short mag, but a 6... Well, I guess 6.8.
Yeah, so I tried to do a little research on it when I
Yeah?
saw it, and the numbers that they're putting out, they're saying that because of that short mag case, they can put in 10% less powder, but have 12% more energy at 500 yards.
Yeah, well, 6.5 Creedmoor is a very efficient case compared to 260, so that worked.
Yeah, so I know you were talking about how because it's that 270 short mag case and 6.8, it's going to need a bigger bolt face, and that creates its own problems.
Yeah.
At least in the AR platform specifically. But another thing was 165 grain AccuBonds from Winchester, and then Browning is going to load 175 grain Sierra Game Kings. So I guess I think they're going to develop more loads.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting, but for me, if we're just doing it for bolt guns, you can build whatever. If you want to feed it into a gas gun, you got to consider the bolt face magazine. Is it going to provide a lot more than 270 short mag? Like, I don't know.
Right.
Like, do I need more? Like, I rarely need more than 6.5 or 308 with a good bullet. So right. I'm not even sure I care that much.
I think they're kind of marketing the round as something in between like a 30-06 and a 300 Win Mag, but I feel like there are already enough options. I don't know if it'll take off.
I read a little about it too when you brought it up, and I care less than I did when it came out. Yeah. So, and it could be great, but
I get the idea of getting a bigger projectile than a 6.5 out there, but
I mean, I like improvement as much. For me, the improvement though, when it comes to ammo, new cartridges, it's the thing I care least about. I say that while we're doing 8.6, but 8.6 is for a gas gun. Right. It's super and subsonic, and it provides us something new. Work in conjunction with silencers makes sense.
And that's essentially a new system. Like we do the fast twist barrel and everything like that.
Fast twist barrel, the silencer, the guns. We do the whole thing.
As opposed to this just throwing it into something that already exists.
I saw it. I watched a couple of YouTube channels, the gun reviewers on it. I don't care. I mean, especially after 224, like the 224 Valkyrie, Federal sent us ammo. They did a bunch of stuff for us. We build the first mini fixes in that. The caliber flopped because it wasn't what they claimed. It's at best just mild improvement over 5.56, but you have all of these new things to deal with, so it just doesn't make sense.
Right.
Like for me, if we're doing a 10% improvement and it's something that complicated like ammo, it just doesn't matter. Yeah. And with this, like the new cartridge, 6.8 Western, you're not going to be able to put it in a gas gun very easily. You got to change the bolt, change the mag. It's like all these other Wildcats, like whatever, 375 Raptor or whatever it is, 458 what is the SOCOM thing?
Yeah, 458 SOCOM.
Like who cares? Yeah, it's great for killing, but you have to have a delivery system.
Right.
If you don't have a delivery system, whether it's mag or gun or both or whatever, it doesn't matter how good the ammo is. So I just don't care.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts.
Yeah, I don't.
One interesting thing about the 6.8 Western, I don't know if it was submitted on the same day, but it was approved on the same day as the SIG Fury round, approved by Sammy on the same day, and dimensionally they're nearly identical.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. Well, in the SIG Fury round, it's like hopped up 270. Like, also, who gives a shit? Mm-hmm. Like if the still head ammo that they're doing, where they get much higher pressures, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's a big, significant difference where it justifies doing it. But, the bulk of the ammo and everything they're thinking they produce for the commercial market, where the cost is reasonable, is 10% better than 270 or whatever. So who cares?
Yeah. That whole round too was just created for the NGSW contract, as far as I know, right? Like the military, the 277 Fury.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Belfed contract.
But I think it was for both platforms. I think the military said they wanted a 6.8 round to replace 5.56 or 308, whichever. So I don't, as far as I know, SIG didn't initially do it for the consumer. I think it was kind of an afterthought, and I think you'll see.
Yeah, and it seems like the commercial ammo is an afterthought, and who cares?
Right.
Like I just, it's not a big improvement.
Yeah.
It's stupid, but it's still, the ammo that's a split case where it's brass and it's got a steel head on it, so it can handle high pressures. You can get much more velocity out of it.
Right.
That's awesome. You make it all brass, you have to download it. Who cares? It's like, I don't know how 10 millimeter became like there's this resurgence of interest in 10 millimeter because it's basically 41 mag. Then you put it into a gas gun, or whatever it is, recoil operated brown type action, and for people to be able to handle the recoil on a pistol, you download it to the point where it's a 40 caliber. So 10 millimeter is just, I don't know, 10 sounds cooler than 40 cal.
Right. 40 plus P.
Yeah. So I don't know, but yeah, that's interesting. Jesus, what else? We
B&T.
talked about gun use. B&T.
B&T. You see the Station 6, their improved VP9, basically a Wellrod knockoff. Yeah.
The new Wellrod.
Yeah.
I remember when like 5 years ago when they teased this, they were saying it was a veterinarian's gun.
Yeah, that was the VP9. It was the veterinary pistol 9mm.
Well, what do you know about this? So the Wellrod in World War II, it was the British MOD. They had this gun that they did in 32, and then they had a 9mm version. It was like the size of the Mark 23 HK pistol. It was fucking huge,
Yeah,
but the 32 is smaller. It's that was a Colt 32 magazine. That went into basically a rotary, but it's like essentially a bolt action pistol,
Right,
single
yeah.
shot pistol, but very quiet.
Yep.
And they were, I mean, in the first Gulf War, the Brits used them even. So it's been around, served a purpose. It's for just like killing someone close range.
Yeah. Yeah, so this new one, the sector Station 6, B&T Station 6, it's an improvement on that VP9. I don't know if the VP9 really ever made it to the
Improvement
civilian.
how?
Well, so you can use standard Colt mags for like 1911 mags. So there's going to be 9mm, 40 millimeter, or 40 millimeter.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be
I love
sick.
that.
There's 9mm and 45. I don't know why I'm messing up the
What are you
calibers, but-
talking about? Is it 9 and 45? Is that what we're trying to say?
Yeah, there's two models. Yeah, there's 9 and there's 45.
Ooh.
But the VP9 was more. The magazine was a proprietary thing where it comes. The grip itself is the magazine.
The
housing.
original Wellrod, that was the way it was.
Right. So this is not that way. You can just use standard 1911 mags.
So it has like a
it's got a grip.
housing or a grip that
Right.
goes inside of it.
Yeah, and the thing that was crazy to me was that the price point on it is $2,000. So it's magazine fed. It's not single
Swiss.
shot. Yeah, of course. Yeah, but it comes with a can and there's a wipe in it.
Yeah.
You can take the can off. It's not one piece. They won't sell it to you without the can, and they're making they advertise it as training suppressors, but they said there are baffles in them. So I don't really know if it's actually a suppressor or if it's a suppressor trainer.
It's got wipes in it. Well, it's interesting. I mean, it's one of those things they'll sell 1,000 of them. Nobody else cares.
Right.
So I'm not sure why they made it. If there was a military that wanted it, I mean, I do know the Brits were still using them, but now the beginning of the Gulf War was 30 years ago.
Right.
They were using them then.
I feel like it's a novelty, but
Yeah, I do too. So you have 1,000 people.
right.
I mean, I would like to have one.
Yeah.
And I would shoot it to impress you guys when you come over for a beer. But other than that, I'm
Yeah.
not going to like use it for anything practical. Have you seen it?
Yeah,
Yeah. I think it's 11.5 inches long too. It's like you said,
Oh,
it's big.
that is big.
Yeah.
I mean, the handy rifle seems dumb at first, right? Until you put a silencer on it, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
it's
one of
true.
my favorite guns in my vault. So
Yeah. Good point.
But also is that, like you said, it becomes fun. So it's
Yeah.
novelty.
it's novelty. It's good for like a new shooter,
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah.
like that.
But for a handy rifle is not $2,000.
No,
Yeah.
no, it was sub $200, I think, when I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want one. I don't think it's super interesting. I
Yeah.
don't think most people are going to like it. Bear the expense or trouble, bear the entry to get one. Yeah, it's just a take on the British World War II Wellrod.
Yep.
What's your favorite firearms company other than Q?
Oh,
Ooh, that's a good question. Off principle, I think Knights, because I don't have
Principle?
just the idea of Knights, because I don't have a ton of experience with Knights guns, but I like Knights products. I think I like them a lot. So I would say that, or I like FN. FN's cool.
why?
Really?
Yeah, I like FN.
Why?
Because they put belt feds on planes?
They do that. I'm a big belt fed fan for sure, but I don't know. I think that every FN that I've ever shot, regardless of model, has felt quality to me. It's felt like well put together.
They're a real company. FN's cool. What about you? Don't suck up and say SIG in case
No.
things don't work out at Q.
No. I mean, they'll always have a special place in my heart. First job in the industry.
I think for all of us. No,
yeah,
not
for
Kevin.
most of us.
Whatever. I like SIG. I have a SIG book from Bicker's Guide. You
Yes,
guys
you do.
don't?
I don't have a favorite company.
No.
No?
No.
Companies you like? What's one you like?
I guess Ruger. I like a 1022, just because it's fun. Not necessarily like them as a company, but if I was going to grab a gun right now and go shoot in my yard, that would be it.
I will say that Ruger and both Savage are companies that I respect.
Yeah.
Because they do a lot of stuff. Some kind of innovative things, especially for a big company. And I'm just thinking about, like, the Savage just came out with straight pull.
Yeah.
Did you guys see that?
Yeah, I didn't see a lot on it, but I saw it, and it seemed cool.
When we were going to do the fix, I wanted to do a straight pull, but I didn't think America was ready. So we did a short throw bolt action.
Right.
I don't know that I agree with the way they're doing it. It seems like the way SIG would do a straight pull, where it's basically a cam and they have ball bearings like the Knight's Armament, which you like, MAM's mount for their silencer. We'll see how that goes, but it is very fast. Straight pull's cool. So it's exciting to see a company like SIG do some, or
Savage.
SIG should be doing it, but Savage
Yeah.
doing things that are, pretty new and innovative, at least for this our country. Like,
Sure.
I think-
straight pull is popular in Europe.
I think you bring up a good point just by saying Ruger, and then you bring in Savage. Like, whether or not they did the most innovative stuff or whatever, they got a lot of people into guns. Like, it's super obtainable for someone to go buy a 1022 or a Savage, what is it, 110 or Model 10 or whatever.
They make good quality guns.
Yeah, and
for a budget.
Yeah, and I mean, you could go buy a High Point, I guess, for same price, but not necessarily have the same reliability.
You can take a 1022 and turn it into whatever you want.
Right.
The aftermarket. And,
Right.
I mean, it's just...
Yeah, it's the Harley Davidson
cool,
of our
yeah.
industry.
Yeah.
I mean, 1022, it makes me want to do a 22 because more 1022s have been sold than probably any gun in this country. And
Right.
I don't like the 1022. Hate the magazine.
There's a lot to be improved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's fun.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite?
I like H&K, I would say. They're in
yeah.
the top, obviously. I mean, for many reasons.
Yeah.
Their social media is on point.
Well,
It's a lot of fun.
they fired the dude who betrayed the HK Instagram girl. So I'm not sure it's still as cool, but maybe it is. I don't know.
Well, either way, I like my little SP5K PDW.
Yeah.
Thing's cool.
You also have a P7, I
I
believe.
do have a P7. Thank you, Kevin.
Yes,
It's a good gun.
It's a good gun.
that's a good gun.
Did you get the M8 or the PSP?
PSP.
It's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have one.
I like Knights. I
I saw
like
you-
H&K. But I love guns. So what?
I was going to say, I saw you posted your K3 on Instagram the other day. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so I have a 22. Yeah, I posted a picture of it on my social media with a prototype carbon fiber can from like 20 years ago we were working on.
Yeah, that's cool.
So 22 22 long rifle squeeze cock. Pretty neat. Yeah, but Knights and HK is why I got in the industry from a firearms company perspective. But I just love all guns. So I respect FN. I've worked with FN on the SCAR contract since 2003.
Yep.
Did a lot of stuff for that. I love Savage and Ruger that they keep innovating within their category, which they've identified as kind of a lower price point, large volume. I respect what they do. I don't know. Like, I'm excited about the new Alien pistol that's coming out.
Yeah.
Trying to think of other companies that I really like. Like Accuracy International has always been a cool company to me. I like them. It's hard
to pick one.
Yeah, I mean, Remington Defense, when I was there, we were doing a lot of stuff, like the MSR rifle and our silencers and doing interesting things. I like that. Like, I can find something I like about every company.
Yeah.
I mean, I just like guns. Like ammo, like shooting.
I think that's a misconception that people have, is they assume that because you're outspoken about things you like and don't like, that you just don't like anything that's not Q, which we all know is not the truth.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you guys, I've got thousands of guns.
Right.
I like, I genuinely have more roller locked HK guns than I do Q guns.
Yeah.
And, for me, I love the MP5 or the MP5 SD. But, like when we developed this gun, years ago to replace the MP5 SD, it doesn't mean I don't like the MP5 SD. I love it. I've got one Honey Badger, maybe two. I think I got one. And, I probably have 10 MP5s.
Yeah, everyone thinks that we dislike, or you dislike the MP5 just because of social media comparisons, but it's more, it was a replacement, and it gets good traction on social media.
Yeah, it's funny. It pisses people
Yeah,
off.
exactly.
They talk shit. Like I call the Honey Badger an SMG to do on purpose.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, to me, the MP5 SD is stupid. If I want a gun to go shoot someone quietly and I want something that is low visibility, it's big, it's heavy, it's not accurate.
Right.
Trigger sucks. Can't mount
Ergonomics,
everything about it's bad.
Yeah.
But at the time, it was awesome, and it created a category, and, the Honey Badger's way better.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I don't like it.
Yeah.
I mean, even like you said about the handy rifle. We did the handy rifles at AAC because it was a partner sister company within Freedom Group once Remington bought Advanced Armament. So that was H&R and what's the other company that did those? There's two companies.
I'm not sure. There's one company doing them now.
It was H&R and
Summit, I think.
No, that's dumb.
Did Mossberg do one?
No, you guys are too young.
The Speculation Podcast.
Yeah.
Anyway, H&R, it was just because we could do a single shot rifle for like $120. So we're like, why not chamber it in 300 Blackout? Because that's a popular gun at the time, we're talking years ago, for, children, first time people, for deer hunting. And it costs $120. We could sell it for $300. And now, like, what are the guns selling for on Gunbroker? I don't know.
The handy rifle?
Yeah.
Probably not that much, honestly.
No.
Oh, really?
I bet
Yeah.
about 300.
Well, I guess.
Oh, I thought they were like $600 for the for the 300 Blackout
oh, I'm
version.
sorry.
that
I'm
we
sorry.
did.
Yeah.
I
Google this.
would say a couple
Thomas,
$100.
Adam, what are we doing? Gunbroker.
I'll be surprised. I'll be surprised if we can find one actually.
Yeah.
Because they're
Yeah.
so expensive and popular and in
because-
demand, people hoard them.
Because guns are selling. Doesn't matter what it is.
Adam's stupid.
Handy spelt with an I.
But, for me, firearms, I like all the companies, but I tend to like what we're doing and what we're working on. And the next project is my favorite thing, not the last one.
Right.
So I probably view it differently.
Yeah, I don't see any blackout ones on there.
Yeah, see? Because people hoard those things. They're like gold. It's like the crown.
For that's H&R.
Oh, H&R is the
Yeah.
other company. Harrington
Yeah.
Richards. And
Yeah.
what? Geez, who's the other one I said?
H&R.
You said
H&R.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let me finish this beer.
While I'm on Gunbroker, I'm looking at Honey Badgers.
They're going up.
There's one now, an SD, 17 bids on it, going for $8,575, and it has 3 days left.
Who's selling this?
Probably Capital Armory.
Yeah, I was gonna say
again.
Capital
They
Armory.
sold the last one for $9,300.
Yeah. And
This
recently.
one, this is Boss Firearms.
So people are complaining about us having a 5% price increase, and silencer or our products are selling for 3 times
Yeah.
MSRP on
Yeah.
Gunbroker.
I mean, all the starting bids on
Some of
those
the
are
new-
like $5,000.
The Noveske one too, the N4 Ghetto Blaster, 39 bids on it. So more bids. It's at $5,900 so far. So I mean, it's crazy
Incredible.
right now.
Yeah, I was going through the other day just trying to get a feel on what everything's selling for, like we talk about all the time. And on Gunbroker, there were a bunch of Honey Badgers. I say a bunch, a handful, and all of them were about $5,000 starting bid. So it's immediate markup. It's not even working its way up there.
There's a Spikes Honey Badger stripped lower for $300. That is ridiculous. Also, I know I just hurt some feelings.
Payroll deduction. I don't know. I mean, I think if we're not on Gunbroker, we ought to be posting stuff on there, getting some of that money and regulating some of these dealers.
Yeah.
I mean, it's people bidding on it that are driving the prices up, so we can't blame them, but
Yeah,
we should get involved.
I think so. Level the market a bit, or make $10,000 a gun. One of the two.
Yeah, I mean, imagine how we could decorate this office with sound equipment we could get, Thomas.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, we should. I mean,
Yeah.
we don't need to do all the work. And,
Right.
I want dealers, and especially mom and pop retail brick and mortar, stay in business, make lots of money, be there for their customers, support everyone. But we should get the bulk of the money. That's the way it should work. Because, I'm going to pour it into R&D and new products.
It also helps, with our price increase. I think that if somebody buys something in retail from us right now, it seems like a really good deal
Yeah.
based on their research on Gunbroker and what's available right now. So there'll be no hesitation if they come across our product as available to order online or at a dealer.
Yeah.
They'll just jump right on it, and that's good. So that's the benefit of the inflated prices on gun brokers. So it's not all bad, obviously. It's very good for us in that way, and it's good for those dealers who can capitalize on supply and demand.
Yeah.
And the state of the industry. So it's not all bad. And I'm by no means mad at those people for selling them at high prices. Good on them.
Yeah.
The gun part is becoming interesting with ammo becoming so difficult.
The shortage.
I know you're having to mooch ammo off me.
I know, 22. Squirrels don't shoot themselves, unfortunately.
Well, so this was something that I kind of looked into as well, and I wasn't in the industry. I was still in high school when Sandy Hook happened, but I know that there was an impact. You guys had to have seen some sort of massive decline in, or I'm sorry, not decline, but decline in availability, but increase in sales, whether it was both guns, but I would imagine ammo too. I know that it's pretty well documented that when Sandy Hook happened, there was a shortage in ammo because everyone buying up. Same idea as the panic buying or whatever, but I just feel like now has to be way beyond that.
It's only listen, I in 94, the Clinton crime bill was another spike like this. It happens every time.
Right.
It's been around much longer. Like, this is only a bigger spike because there's more people involved. I mean, it's like I say a ton of times before, when I was 17, worked in a gun store, the only person that came in the gun store ever was a 35 to 55-year-old white guy with a blue-collar job.
Right.
That's it. That was our customer. It's much more diverse now. And we talked about earlier where in just 20 years ago, there were 8.5 million NICS checks. Now there's 40 million this past year.
Right.
It's no different. It's worse maybe in a sense because you haven't seen as much or because there's just a lot more people involved. I don't know. But it does suck. Like in 94, you couldn't buy 22 ammo for a year. But everything went back, in 7.62 by 39 ammo, they were still allowed to import a lot of foreign stuff. So their 1,000 rounds was $69. That's what it costs. And during the crime bill scare in the first year or so, 7.62 by 39 ammo went to $375 a thousand. So there was a dramatic increase in the price of ammo and firearms. During the crime bill too, it was 10-round mags. It's all you could have for 10 years. And you guys are probably too young to remember this, but from 94 to 2004, you could only have 10-round mags. Mm-hmm. I mean, or that's all that was available to be sold as new manufacture. Right. They couldn't make, so what was out there was fine. But I've seen it a lot, and it's just like, it's annoying to me. And one good thing for me is when we develop cartridges like 300 Blackout or 8.6, it's not a commodity-driven thing like a lot of the prior stuff where ammo was cheap because of military surplus ammo or whatever have you. I think it supports what we're doing because what we're doing is new and there's not surplus and the cost is what it is. There's the commodity cost of the copper and the lead and things like this, but then it is just the manufacturing and the work of developing it. So things always come back down and kind of plateau. But never quite exactly where they were. And right. Some of that is demand. I mean, some's just, just cost of living and stuff.
Right.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Inflation.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for.
I got you.
Yeah.
And we've talked about pricing our products as a commodity.
It makes sense. I mean, right now it's kind of hard to argue, and we know every Honey Badger pistol that we manufacture would sell for $5,000 or $6,000, and here we are selling them at distributor price to guys, and they're taking it and making $5,000 on each gun.
Right.
It doesn't make sense for the company, and I don't know what the right answer is, but what we're doing doesn't seem to be the right thing.
Yeah, it's a tough spot.
Yeah, I don't know. You're the CEO. You got to figure that shit out.
Cut them off.
Yeah.
I mean, I know people are complaining and saying basically the same issue with the cheaper than dirt thing, and basically saying these businesses need to be held accountable for doing this. But is it our job to hold them accountable?
Well, I think it's a little bit different. If we sell to a gun store and he takes our product, he marks it up $10,000. It has a retail of $3,000. That's different than if he puts it on a public auction,
right,
for the MSRP price and it gets bid up to $10,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that his fault?
I don't blame him.
No, not at all. I would do the same thing.
But he should give us a kickback.
Maybe. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what the answer is.
It's tough.
Yep. Buying retail, buy direct is the best price right now.
Yeah. But everyone just wants this whole, they have this we want it right now, right now, right now.
Yeah.
And some people, I guess, are willing to pay right now prices if you're going to pay 10 grand for a honey badger. But
I mean, it's always a gamble. If you know, I mean, if you knew you were never going to be able to get it again, I'd pay 10 grand for
Right.
one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, because for me, I've only got one. Maybe I've got two. I think I've got one honey badger. I should probably buy another one. I don't know. But I don't want to pay 10 grand.
no.
I'll trade. I'm going to trade someone. Well, it is interesting, though. Our stuff selling for 9,000, Vesky stuff selling for 5 or 6. I mean, because I think,
and there's still time left on that auction. You know, don't get me wrong. That's not the
yeah.
final
Well,
price.
I mean,
but-
what have they sold for? Because
Yeah.
I mean, I think a lot of Noveski. Noveski makes great products. I mean, we partner with them on the stock and different things, and you know, that's a company. I mean, you know, Johnny was one of my best friends in the world. A company that I super respect. They've done a lot of great things in the industry. Make great products. But for us to be our stuff to be more of a demand a higher price than them, I mean, I think that says something for what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes me feel good about it.
Did we recently just send braces to?
Yeah, we
Noveski?
sent a whole bunch, and we have pretty good supply now, so it's going to be hopefully a steady flow. And, you know, one of the goals for this year is to be a better vendor for them so that they can better service the customers.
Right.
So
I get that question sometimes, and they send them to us, like people that want a Noveski stock or honey badger.
yeah.
They got to go through them, right?
Yeah, somebody Instagram yesterday, I think, asked if they could buy a Ghetto Blaster and whatever they're calling it, Space Invader brace from us because they bought a braceless one from Noveski.
I saw that as
So
well.
I get it. They're selling them without the brace. They have to do what they have to do, but we're not going to sell their braces. We'll ship
Right.
it to them, and they can make that decision.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I tell.
And per that person, they said that Noveski told them to hit us up. But now, if we're
That's what I always hear too when they message me.
yeah,
I mean, they can't get them, so
right,
you know, they're going to direct them to the people that make it.
Exactly,
So
yeah.
rightfully so.
Yeah, still not selling them to.
No, definitely not.
no standalone.
I don't know. I think a lot of people, and I like to hear the story too. You've done some stuff with Johnny in the past, and
Oh my God,
you know,
so much stuff I would never tell. I mean,
yeah,
Johnny Noveski to me, I met Johnny. He's such a weird son of a bitch. He called me one day, and this had to be, I don't know, 20 something years ago. And to hear him retell the story when he and I would be somewhere and people would ask how we met or knew each other or what we were doing together, that he ordered silencer. So back in the day, back then there were maybe half a dozen, 10 silencer companies. He ordered catalogs, which we used to do, actually printed catalogs because, you know, there wasn't really social media. So he ordered catalogs from all the companies, and he's such a dork in some ways. He said what he did was he put them all in alphabetical order, and then he called each company. He wanted to partner with a company that was a mainstream silencer company at the time to offer silencers for guns that he was producing. So he did them in alphabetical order because it made the most sense to him. We were Advanced Armament Company or Corporation, so we came first. And he called me. I answered the phone, and he told me he was looking for a 30 caliber silencer. And the way he told the story, I don't remember the conversation. He said, you know, here, I'm going to send you our Cyclone, which is a thread mount 30 caliber silencer. You try it. If you like it, pay the invoice. If you don't, you keep it. You don't owe me anything. Move on to the next company. And so he did that, and he never called any other company. He got our silencer, and he liked it, and we began a friendship and a relationship, you know, professionally. And, you know, that's kind of how it happened. So, you know, as that happened over time, we would get together once a year, twice a year. We'd go hunt, we'd hang out, and more, and we became good friends. And he was insane. You know, it's interesting. You know, Johnny was from the West Coast, so he grew up in, you know, just north of California and Oregon and in San Francisco. And, you know, his mentality compared to mine from someone from the Southeast and, you know, the life that he had led. But the first gun he built me, he built me and I still have it. It's a Remington model 600. So the shortest action it makes, like a Remington Model 7 now. So short action 700. And he did, but he was a barrel maker. So after the Army, Johnny went to work at Packnor, which is a barrel company there just west, on the coast of Oregon, west of where he lived. And he went to work there and learned how to button rifles and everything, or, you know, barrels. And he learned a lot about barrel making, and then he began making bolt guns. So he was a custom bolt gun builder, and and I think he had gotten the money from something that he didn't want people to know at the time. He was very ashamed of, but Johnny was an apprentice as a glass blower. So he was making, Johnny was a super creative guy, artistic guy, just kind of a Renaissance man. Like Johnny was a freaking badass, but he was making a lot of stuff. So it turned into him making a lot of like, what do you people that smoke weed call it?
I don't smoke weed. I don't know.
You look like you
Sure.
do.
You're the freaking poster child for marijuana legalization.
My
Moles.
parents are police.
Yeah. So it was like, I don't know, like the bowls or
Bowl,
whatever.
yeah.
A bowl, okay.
Don't know.
So that's how he like made the money to start Noveske Rifle Works, and that's probably never been told. And he's been dead a while now. We're friends, and nobody thinks of him that way. But Johnny was like, very anti-drug and stuff. So it was like a conflict for him to some degree. And I get it. Like he's young, and he had a dream of like having his own gun company. And Johnny's one of those guys who would have been good at anything he did. Anything he did, like everyone loved him. Everyone he talked to made feel special. He was exceptional at everything he did. And he wanted to be a gun maker. And he was making custom bolt guns. And that's the first gun he built me. And he had one, we went on a hunt, he had one he had built. It's a little lightweight Remington Model 600. He had barreled, he had put a Macmillan stock on, he had a silencer on, a little pole, like 2.5, 10 power scope. It was awesome, or maybe it's probably 2 to 7. And we went on a bear hunt together, and I wanted one just like his. So he built me one. And I still have it today, still hunt with it. He's just so crazy. And he's the first one that introduced me to 300 Whisper, which later on became 300 Blackout. Mm-hmm. And he was loading and shooting stuff with that because he was hunting all the time back then, so 20 years ago. And he was on so many hunts. One great story with him is he was on a bear hunt right before I got out there to go on a hunt with him. And where he is in Grants Pass, Merlin, Oregon, so just north of California in the mountains, he shoot black-tailed deer and bear every year, black bear. And he was on a black bear hunt and on a river near their house, and he went down to the water, looks upstream a couple hundred yards, and there is the biggest black bear he's ever seen on a rock eating a fish. And he has an 8-inch 300 Whisper AR-based gun. So he was getting into AR-based guns, but everybody thinks like Noveske ARs. It wasn't originally what they did. He originally built bolt guns. So he had, and I have an upper he sent me just like his, and I still have the gun set up and still shoot it. And he would load ammo and send to me. But he was telling me about 300 Whisper, and it's a great cartridge, and that's what he used for hunting. Blacktail, because his shots were inside of 100 yards. It is, kind of like the East Coast, a lot of forests, mountains, hills, not long shots. And he looks upstream, and there's the biggest black bear he's ever seen on a rock. He turns, shoots the black bear, falls into the river, and there's rapids where he is. And it's the biggest one ever. So he shoots it, falls into the river, a couple hundred yards, so it's making its way down. He panics. They're parked downstream, but he's with his hunting partner. And this is in the winter. Takes all of his clothes off. He's got like his phone, his wallet, all his stuff. Tells his buddy to go downstream, get the truck, and they know about a mile away there's a landing where you can put like boats and stuff in to pick him up there. And so Johnny shot this bear, the biggest black bear he's ever seen, hundreds of pounds. One shot, falls in the river. He doesn't know if it's dead or not. He's crazy. Strips down, tells his buddy this, jumps in the river with the bear, grabs the bear. He's riding the bear halfway down, and in the rapids, and a lot of times where there's deep spots, he's holding the bear up to make sure it gets through the rapids and pushes it along till he gets down to where his buddy is taking their truck to and pulls it over to the side, almost drowned and dead. And I mean, that's just who he was. Like every time that we went hunting, there was like something dramatic. Like I can think of so many stories. He was almost attacked by 2 mountain lions, so 2 cougars once. And he ends up shooting one, laying on his back with a 300 Win Mag, shooting it while it's in the air, under its chin, through its head. And there were 2.
Wow.
And he ate that one. And he told me, like, he's the first person I knew that ate mountain lion. He says, well, the back straps, they're like not bad. It's not great, but it wasn't too bad. But when he skinned it out, gutted it, it's like stomach was the size of its esophagus. They were starving. And so that's why they were attacking him. Like, he was black bear hunting, and he's walking along this dirt road along the ridge on this mountain that, kind of, had ups and downs in it. And he stopped and saw him peek over the top one time, and he stopped. And he's like, it was like 50 yards away, and next thing he knew, like 2 hops, it was on top of him. So he fell back and shot one. The other one ran off. So he ate that one.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, the other hunts and things that we did, some stuff I won't even talk about. But, I know one time, he's dead now, so what are they going to do? Like, God rest his soul. Crazy bastard. But he'd go on this annual trip every year with his friends and his dad. And he lived on the river in Grants Pass, Oregon. And he told me, became fascinated with the military and firearms and stuff at a young age. When he was a little younger than me, when the Gulf War kicked off in 91, that it was, I guess, like the Rogue River that was in their town was the closest thing to like the Euphrates or whatever over in Iraq that we had here. So like SEAL Team 6 or something came and trained there with jet boats and stuff. And he became fascinated with it. And he wanted to do that stuff. And so as he got older and made money, he bought a house on the river. He lived there. He had jet boats. He'd terrify me in the boats. Like, I freaking hated going on rides with him. Because, it's like 12 inches of water. He's going like 50 miles an hour, like drifting around corners and stuff. It was horrifying. But he'd go on a trip, like they would go in canoes, like 4 or 5 father-son groups would go, miles and miles and miles down the river every year, like a week-long trip of like going down the rapids and in the little boats, camping on the shore and stuff like this. So whatever, 20 miles south of them, Rogue River is beautiful. It's all rock and big cliffs and stuff, by the way. There's this resort like 20 miles south of him. He wanted me to make him a silencer for his Glock Model 20, a 10 millimeter. And I'm like, it's going to be loud and it's going to suck. And he's like, well, just as much as I can get, I don't mind using water, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, we did it. I took his barrel, put an extension on it, threaded it for him, got him a setup. I was like, it's not going to be great. He's like, it's fine. Had no idea what he was doing. Very secretive. And so I find out later, actually, he died in January of, what is this? He died in 2013, maybe. So like 8 years ago. So in 2012, in October, I took it to him and all, and he went on that trip with his dad and his friends, and and it was one of these setups where his buddy, their family owns a big company out there, and would drive over or fly over every 3 days, like their pilot in their private plane. I had the door off, like throw coolers out to them with like beer and food and stuff. So anyway, 20 miles south there of their home, there is a big fancy resort where, it's nice, fancy people stay. And the biggest black-tailed deer in that area live at that resort. And so basically you have this idea, this big resort. People eat on the back porch every morning, and it's like all grass and nice out to like a little rock cliff overlooks a river. It's just a beautiful scene. And so Johnny tells me, so in October when I got there to hunt with them, it's like, I think right after this had happened, he gives me this picture. He's like, this is the only picture of this that exists. Don't ever want anyone to see it. Again, he's dead now, so too bad. So it's the picture we have in the cabinet over there.
Oh, yeah, around the corner.
So him sitting with that giant blacktail. So you might not know it, but that is a giant blacktail deer. And they camp out every year when they do this trip on the beach right below that resort. And so the morning they camp out, the morning they're going to go, Johnny wakes up, tells everybody, hey, I'll be back in like 30 minutes, hang out. He goes up there with that Glock 10 millimeter silencer. People are having breakfast, everything. These giant blacktail come out onto the lawn. They're feeding, they're grazing. And he picks the biggest one, shoots it with a 10 millimeter with the silencer.
While everyone's watching it?
In front of everybody eating breakfast. And grabs it by the antlers. And, Johnny's a pretty big guy. drags it down this hill, down this cliff, down this hill. And his dad tells me he gets there and he thought like Johnny's having a heart attack. Like he's all red, sweaty, he's like can't breathe and everything. Had this giant deer with him. He's like, help me get in the boat, we gotta go. And that's the only reason he wanted that silencer, and that's that giant black-tailed deer. So just stuff like that he would do. I mean, it is crazy, and he was insane, and he was so cool and creative, and just it's a real loss. Yeah. And so it's interesting to see, his wife continuing the company and doing cool things with marketing. Johnny had like severe social anxiety. That's why they never did SHOT Show or anything. But he's a brilliant guy and created something really cool with the company. It's interesting to see his wife, Lorena, take it, and she's incredibly brilliant and creative and interesting, and takes her own spin. And you see it with the marketing now, like the marketing in Noveski now. That's who Lorena Noveski is. Yeah. And so for me, it's cool to see that. But yeah, Johnny was a cool guy, and he was easy to like.
That's awesome.
And he was easy to be inspired by, and he did a lot of cool stuff, and he got me excited about life and about firearms and a different aspect of guns than what I was into, because he got into hunting and stuff before me, and he kind of introduced me into some of that stuff. And like I'll always be indebted to him for introducing me to 300 Whisper, for instance. So it's a Noveski store.
Very cool. So do we owe 300 Blackout to Johnny?
No.
Is that what I'm hearing? No.
No, we don't. We don't. But that was my first introduction to it, even before SOCOM.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, lots of smart people knew there was potential there.
Sure.
Noveski recently did a collaboration with Orm and Fuzzy.
Mm-hmm. Orm and Fuzzy.
They made the Hobgoblin.
Oh, yeah.
A short AR with the front side post, which I love.
She's good. She's good with the names. Lorena's brilliant, creative. Like Johnny always wanted to name a gun the Ghetto Blaster, but he was afraid what people would think.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was a bit of a... It was so interesting that someone who'd shoot a bear and jump in the river after it, or would go in front of this expensive resort and shoot a deer in the yard and run off with it. But when it came to stuff like that, he was a big wuss.
Mm-hmm.
So,
they launched a Ghetto Blaster and they got some backlash for it.
Yeah.
For the wrong reasons, but, they changed the name.
Yeah. Gen 4 N4 PDW.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Mm-hmm. It's always, like when you're really good at something like Noveski is, or, whoever, you're always going to get the criticism.
Yeah.
And, you're always going to get people that boycott you or talk shit or hate on you. I mean, for me, who cares? But I understand. I mean, I've got my obligations, and you do with this company, and Lorena does with her company.
Mm-hmm.
And
yep.
Well, as far as Noveski being a cool brand now, always was, whatever. Mm-hmm. Do you have any brands that you like? Maybe people that send us some stuff, brands that you just find even outside the gun industry.
Oh my God, man, so many. Well, I tell you today, Vickers Guide sent me 2 books, which were awesome. I got the World War II German book and the new SIG book, Adam.
Yeah, where
most of us, including Jay, we're all at SIG, so that's pretty interesting.
A lot of history.
Yeah. Oh, well, my jacket. Tactical Distributors. A big shout out to them. Look at this thing.
Yeah, that is
so
awesome.
They sent
cool.
the sweet Tiger Stripe pants that I have that I love for summertime. I wish they had winter versions of that. Too cold in New Hampshire to wear those in the winter.
Is that reversible?
Yeah, of course it's reversible. It's reversible and awesome. I don't know. Maybe it's not reversible.
It's 100% not reversible.
It's not.
You can wear anything inside out.
I mean, I will at my age. What do I care?
It is really cool.
I ain't trying to get a date.
Yeah.
But oh my God, it's warm. They have so much stuff. What I've seen about Tactical Distributors. So Todd Askins is a cool guy there. I mean, he's also like Johnny, a man's man, like the spear fishing and all the stuff that he does. He's one of the guys there at Tactical Distributors in Virginia Beach. So they're next to, the SEAL base there. They have a lot of great products at affordable prices.
Right.
Like the Tiger Stripe little fuzzy pullover they got, all the shorts and pants and flip-flops and stuff they sent me this summer. Yeah, I mean, I would gladly pay full price for their stuff, and it's a value. TacticalDistributors.com, maybe. They're cool. They're one of my favorites.
Yep.
We've been so so blessed.
Yeah.
With some, oh my God, look at this. So I don't even know his name's Cole. So this is made out of skateboards.
Yep.
So see, he said he got drunk with one of his kids in the letter, which I'm guessing means he got drunk
And was
but
also with his kids.
was working with one of his kids. I don't
Right.
think it. But anyway, man, look at this little MP5 out of like skateboards. How cool is that?
That's awesome.
It's going in the museum. We got to have like a whole wall
Yeah.
that's a mile long here of all the stuff people send us. This is one of my favorite things we've received.
The Q
What do you
Museum.
think? You're not impressed?
I think the magazine's a little disproportioned.
Okay, so it's well, you know,
I don't know.
I just said MP5 and I'm
Well, I
such
was
an
gonna say, I
asshole.
don't think that was.
That's supposed to be
It's
a honey badger.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't
no.
want
Yeah.
to correct you.
I was gonna say I don't know.
You
if
should
it's in-
correct me when I'm wrong.
I doubted myself when you said that. I was
know.
like, shit, I thought that was a honey badger.
Well, I like it so much better now. So much more effective. Bam, bam, bam.
yeah.
See, I didn't go pew, pew, pew because there's no silence.
No.
It's just
Right.
bam.
Yeah, yeah.
Bam, bam,
Only
bam.
silencers do that.
Yeah, look at that. Look at this. Look,
Hold up to that camera.
this camera.
Yeah.
Old dirty bastard.
The greatest ever.
Old dirty bastard with a Q hat. I mean, I think this is an actual picture. It's authentic. Somebody
Yeah.
put it on a mag.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was always ahead
big,
of his time.
Big Q fan.
Yeah, big,
Autofocus is
big
not
Q
working.
fan. It's not?
You might have to push it more towards me. Yeah, whatever. They'll see
What
it.
about right there?
I'll make that work.
ODB.
Yeah.
So, I mean, stuff like that. I mean, those are freaking treasures. They're going to be in, I don't know, some kind of museum for this company forever. So I love all that stuff. But tactical distributors, I mean, current companies that hook us up, like I get books, we get tons of alcohol. The jackets are nice since New Hampshire's cold as
Yeah.
a witch's titty, as we'd say in the
Yes,
South.
that is correct.
Yeah, and a brass bra.
So what are some brands that you would, and we get a lot of stuff here sent for free or
Yeah.
for promotion, whatever, but what are some
Oh,
brands
for-
you'd spend some of your money on, your hard-earned
My money?
Yeah.
Things
where's your
I
money
support?
going?
Things that I
Swarovski?
actually support. Well, Chick-fil-A is one of them when I can find that. I love the Chick-fil-A. I love fried chicken. You know, it's a southern part of me. I love, for me, a company Vans, just because I raced BMX from 1980 to 1988. And my very first pro team I was on, we were sponsored by Vans. And this is the first encounter with Vans. I was maybe 6 or 7 years old. It was Schwinn. And they've always supported. And so as BMX ended, I got into skateboarding. And, you guys know I've been skateboarding the rest of my life. Like I still have a half pipe. And so I support Vans because I love skateboarding. So it's interesting to me to see it in the Olympics. Within firearms, stuff I spend money, I don't know, because most people give me stuff. But I love Swarovski, EOTech, Aimpoint, Trigicon, their little RMRs. I use a lot of the dots. Hornady, discrete ballistics, like Edgar Sherman sling.
Oh, yeah.
If I could buy an Edgar Sherman sling, I would buy it. If not, he better send me one because I'm going on a hunt. I need a freaking sling.
I'll give you one.
I was gonna say I got one. I'll sell you.
Sell me, trade me.
I
Yeah,
bought
to the
I
gun
bought a
broker.
few.
Yeah, they're awesome.
I always buy them from them. I want to support them. I
Yeah.
always just, if they're available, I buy it.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
my favorite sling
Yeah.
for sure.
And like Arc'teryx, I love Arc'teryx products. They've been really good to me in the past, and they've given me a lot of stuff. But what they did was introduce me to that level of quality and design for like outdoor cold weather gear. Because me being from the South, I never needed cold weather gear until I get up here. I go on hunts in like very cold places, and it makes a world of difference. I don't know. I'm getting old and sappy, and I like to support a lot of local brands like Stoneface. Our local brewery is a great brewery I love. Whatever. Hours North.
Hours North.
A great. What are you guys, an alternative band? What do we call this?
Yeah, eclectic, acoustic, electric.
Come
Electric.
Yeah, but it's
So
eclectic
Tommy
for
and
sure.
Jay
I don't know. That's
are in a
impossible.
band.
That's the stupidest question.
No,
kind of
it's
music
not the
do you play?
stupidest question.
Just go
It's
listen
the
to
best
it.
question.
I told them that I thought they
don't-
were Black Keys versus.
Ooh, I like the
or
Black
with a mix
Keys.
of Kings of Leon, and they took that as a compliment. So.
Yeah.
Kings of Leon and Black Keys. You don't
Yeah.
take that as a compliment. You're a
Oh,
musical
yes. Yeah.
idiot.
That's what we go
Yeah,
for.
Well, you just
Absolutely.
never know when you're comparing somebody to somebody else. I was like, oh, is that what they were
Well,
going
whatever. Speaking of musical morons, have you, have you guys seen High Fidelity with John Cusack?
No.
What?
For? Come on.
Oh my God!
I don't like
I
you
haven't
have?
seen it. Don't ask me to quote it, but
I don't
I've
like
seen
looking
it.
at
I've watched it 100 times.
I very vividly remember watching it when I was younger with my dad, but
You're
I
such a
don't
liar.
remember the movie.
Okay,
Is that the
it's
one
about.
where he has the boombox over his head outside his girlfriend?
Not say anything, you moron.
And any John Cusack movie is the
Oh
same.
my
movie.
God.
John Cusack guy.
Now
Oh
that
my God,
Now
you
that
guys.
say that, I don't think I've seen High Fidelity.
It has Jack Black, maybe his greatest role ever.
When they're in is it a record store?
Yeah.
Yes.
So they're in Chicago. John Cusack owns a record store. Jack Black's one of his employees.
Love that.
Lisa Bonet, isn't that the one that was married to Lenny
Yes.
Kravitz?
I think so.
So she's a performer and so John Cusack was a DJ, gets a little older, owns a record store. They just love music. They quote music, records, talk about it constantly. Their top 5 albums of whatever it is, breakups, Mondays, whatever it is. You guys should not be allowed to produce any music without watching this. If you don't watch it by Monday, you guys just go home without pay until
I'll watch it tonight.
until then. It is
I'll
so
report
good.
back.
It's going to change your lives.
I'll report back.
Jack Black is phenomenal in it. And,
He's good in everything.
Yeah.
Wait, yeah.
Well, watch your mouth.
I don't. What's the movie with Bruce Willis where he's the
Oh, Die Hard. Yeah.
no, the one with Jack Black where he shoots his arm off holding a pack of cigarettes.
Oh, Jackal.
Jackal.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
A little to the left.
Yeah. Anyway, it is a phenomenal movie. You guys need to watch it. So it reminds.
So what was the one with the boombox?
Say
Say
anything.
Anything.
I thought they were the same movie.
Because they're morons. No, John Cusack.
Hmm.
He was great. The movie's great.
What did I just watch with his sister in it?
Oh, she's wonderful. She's in the movie too.
She's so
Joan
funny.
Cusack.
Yeah.
So
It's John
probably
and
Gross
Joan?
Point Blank.
No, it's a new show. I think it's on Netflix.
Yeah,
or something.
she's the crazy one. She was in like the Addams Family movies. Did you see Gross Point Blank with John Cusack?
I don't like John
No.
Cusack.
Why do you know his
Why?
whole?
I don't want.
You know his whole catalog.
I liked him in Con Air.
It's got Dan
Con Air
Aykroyd.
was
He
good.
was great in
He,
the hot
was,
tub
he wasn't
time
in
machine.
Con Air.
John Cusack.
Was he in Con Air?
was in Con-
He
he
wasn't
was
in
like
Con Air.
Was he in Con Air?
Google it. You got the
He
Google
was
machine in front of you.
100% in
If he's
Con Air.
not, you are doing a shot.
Hot tub time machine.
John
That
Cusack.
was a good movie.
He was in
Con
that.
Air.
Yeah,
Or
he
he
was the
just
main
did it.
character.
I didn't watch that. That's dumb.
Brother, he's in there.
He is
Oh,
in Con Air.
He's the main character.
In
He's-
Con Air?
Yes, in Con Air.
I thought
Let
that
me
was
flip this thing
that was
around.
Nicolas
for
Cage.
you.
Yeah, me too.
It's Nick Cage, but he's the cop guy. Check him out.
Oh, it's such a bad movie. I don't even remember.
Con Air rules. See,
All right, your taste is in your mouth. What? Can we mute his microphone?
he's the guy that would mute his microphone.
Thomas, mute your own microphone.
fuck John Cusack.
So
I'm telling you, I feel like I should be in y'all's band. Could y'all stomach a seventh member?
you can do the cowbell.
I feel like I could be a lyricist.
You have 6 members?
Like, are you guys familiar with Big Daddy Kane? He's one of my greatest
Yes.
influences.
So is that what you would bring to the table? Rap.
I probably bring a lot to the table.
Could you rap? Can you rap?
I can totally rap.
You
Can I rap?
You can rap.
Oh my
He's from
God! You don't
Atlanta.
ask James Bond if he can ride a horse. Of course he can.
James Bond rides horses?
He does everything. I do everything.
All right, so
If James Bond can do it, I can do it.
next
You
time,
know he can
next
rap.
time we do this, I'm gonna bring a beat in, all right, and you're gonna just put it down.
I'll
for us.
freestyle.
You'll freestyle.
I've been freestyling
All right, well,
since middle school.
Let me get a beat together, and then we'll do this next podcast, episode
I-
31.
I-
Kevin
No, that
raps.
gives him time to remember.
I've
it.
been
Exactly.
freestyling since your
Freestyling.
dad was in puberty.
Well, I don't want you to embarrass yourself if you're come on.
Oh my God! You gonna talk about me embarrassing myself? I love you guys. Hopefully, we'll turn this into something. It's a good time either way.
For sure.
Yep.
All right, next time.
Later.